Before it was a layup. Now you got to work on your post moves. Now you got to work on your three-pointer. Now you got to work on your pick and roll. I'm sorry that you feel YouTubers made you work on your game a little bit.
Showtime!
What's up, world? It's your boss, International Zoe. And this next series, I don't know if I'm gonna need 1 or 2 videos, but it's entitled Passport Bros versus YouTubers, the gift and the curse. And the reason what prompted this idea and discussion is that, of course, over the years, and now that I just finished that last series in regarding to played out destinations in 2025, you know, I knew I was going to see this comment of YouTubers messing up a location. It's the YouTuber's fault. It's the YouTuber's fault. So I want to just dive into that and be fair and do some backstory to the whole thing. I want to start by saying that YouTube was founded February 14, 2005 by Stephen Chin, Chad Hurley, and Jawed Kareem. They was former employees of PayPal, mostly software engineers. Then it was sold, of course, to Google, and YouTube is the second most visited website after Google search in the world. And I'm saying that to say that people primarily go to YouTube for information. I would also say entertainment, but for information, people go to YouTube. And what do travel YouTubers do? Travel YouTubers share information about destinations around the world. So in essence, they're just doing their job, you know. But we're gonna dive a little deeper after that, okay? So I started traveling when I was in the music industry, and that just led me to continue traveling. My first international flight was in 1990. It was Japan, and I was performing. I was in a fashion show. I was a dancer in a fashion show. So I had my passport since then, and that was my first international flight. But I had been traveling around the United States in the music business, dancing, rapping, prior to that. Now, back in the days, you know, when you wanted to travel and go somewhere, you would usually go to a booking agent, and that booking agency would get your flight tickets, would get your hotel reservations and all this, and you would either pay them the service or you would be able to pay it off as time went on. This is what travel was like back in the day. Just realize that Airbnb started in 2008, Uber started in 2008. Just think about when these things started that changed the whole dynamic of travel. Being able to, one, book tickets online, being able to rent someone's house instead of hotels, was opened the market up crazy, and being able to get to your destination through Uber and not trying to catch a cab at the airport. Not only that, the Uber has the address where you're arriving and has the address where you're being picked up. So it made these things help travel tremendously. When it comes to YouTubers that inspired me, and these are travel YouTubers that inspired me, because I think the thing that I searched for the most on YouTube was traveling. So Drew Binsky, Mark Wiens, Walter's World, Christian LeBlanc, Passport Heavy, I Am Marwar, and Ace Live. Now, Passport Heavy, I Am Marwar, and Ace Live are not even in the top. They're not even in the top 20 travel YouTubers. I don't even know if they're in the top 100. But I looked at the list and their names weren't on the list. I don't know exactly how long the list was, but. So, and Drew Binsky, for an example, has 4.3 million followers. I don't even think there is a black travel YouTuber who has much more than 500,000, let alone four or more million. So the impact that black travel YouTubers are making is impactful, but it's nowhere near their counterparts. You know, it's nowhere near. And now Christian LeBlanc, I'm sure he's in the millions, and he's changed the face of Bali, Indonesia. He's changed the face of the Philippines and Drew Brinsky and a lot of them. They have changed the face of travel all around the world. In 2024, the top 10 most traveled to most visited destinations in order: Japan, Argentina, Egypt, Sri Lanka, Colombia, Ecuador, the Galapagos, Japan, Thailand, Philippines, and Bali. So I've been everywhere on this list except Sri Lanka and Ecuador, the Galapagos, and Jordan. Those are the only places on this list that I haven't been. So 3 places out of 10 I haven't been to. YouTube, Uber, and Airbnb. These 3 things have changed the dynamic of travel tremendously. And like I said, YouTube is the second most visited site in the world after Google search. So of course, people are going to use YouTube when it comes to finding out where to travel, how to travel, where to go, where to stay, what to do, so on and so forth. Just like Airbnb and just like Uber, getting from the airport or getting around a country that you don't know, you can type in the location you want to arrive to and type in the location to pick you up. That makes traveling so much simpler and easier, right? So let me read some things that I found about travel YouTuber. YouTube has changed in many ways, including travel YouTubers have changed in many ways, including travel inspiration. Travelers use YouTube as a primary source of travel inspiration, watching videos across devices and in all YouTube travel categories. Travel vlogs. Travel video blogs and travel vlogs have become increasingly popular on YouTube and are influential in influencing traveling behavior. Organic information. YouTube provides tourists with organic sources of information, including videos, blogs, reviews, tips, and travel tours. Destination image. Tourists can participate in the creation of a destination image and share it on YouTube. So the travel space in YouTube is growing. It's important, and it has inspired maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people to travel. And that's how intricate and important travel YouTubers are to the space. Now let's go to, this is what the real problem is, right? There are other places that have nothing to do with sex tourism that are overpopulated, overstimulated, overpromoted, as y'all say, where even the YouTubers said maybe y'all don't want to go to these top places. Now let's read the top places. Within the travel community, some of the most popular places frequently visited by travel YouTubers include Santorini, Greece, Bali, Indonesia, Iceland, the Maldives, Marrakesh, Morocco, Amalfi Coast, Italy, and the National Park, United States. However, many users warn about over-tourism at these locations due to their heavy presence in travel vlogs, often recommending seeking out less popular alternatives. So this is something that happens all over the world on all different types of destinations, because we're living in the information age and the internet is the information highway. And I would say YouTube is the second largest information highway in the world. It's just what it is. We're never going backwards, we're only going forwards. Now, let's go to hotspots for sex tourism. Here's the list. Brazil. I'm assuming that they put the countries, not the actual locations. Brazil, the Netherlands, Philippines, Spain, Thailand, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Kenya, Germany, Cambodia. Those are the top 12 that came up in my research. YouTubers are getting accused of ruining locations. But we don't get accused of ruining locations that are not sex tourist locations, right? Like my video in Barcelona, Spain, at the Sagrada Familia, nobody said, oh, you're going to ruin the Sagrada Familia because you made a video there. Now everybody's going to go there, and mind you, they get millions of visitors per year anyway. Nobody's going to say, oh, you went to Easter Island to see the Moai statues. Now everybody's going to Easter Island. You're ruining Easter Island in Chile because you went there, right? Nobody's going to say, oh, you ruined Machu Picchu because you went to Machu Picchu and you made videos. Now ninjas are going to be going to Machu Picchu. Nobody says, oh, man, you went to Egypt, you saw the Great Pyramids. And all these places have millions of visitors a year. Nobody's saying you're ruining those places, right? But they say YouTubers ruined Dominican Republic, YouTubers ruined Colombia, YouTubers ruined Brazil, YouTubers ruined the Philippines and Thailand, and so on and so forth. Now, let's be honest. A lot of you guys were inspired by YouTubers when it comes to traveling. I was inspired by YouTubers. And I know some of the military guys are going to say, no, I was in the military, but even some of the military guys were still inspired by YouTubers. YouTubers put you on to many, many, many locations, gave you the insight and how to do it. And then you turn your back on the YouTuber and say the YouTubers messed up a place. I would say, have YouTubers exposed places? I wouldn't even say exposed because that's a negative. Have YouTubers gave exposures to locations all around the world? Exposure? Yes. But YouTubers are not responsible for the way people behave when they visit these places. One, YouTubers are not responsible for the people who get stuck going back over and over again to the same place. And YouTubers are not responsible because now you got to change your game. Before it was a layup. Now you got to work on your post moves. Now you got to work on your three-pointer. Now you got to work on your pick and roll. I'm sorry that you feel YouTubers made you work on your game a little bit, and these places is not a layup anymore because they're overpopular and overpopulated. But guess what? There's many other destinations and many other leagues you can play in or teams you can play for. And the guys who are, usually coming down on the YouTubers saying they mess things up, you can't show pornography on YouTube, right? So what do you have to say for the hundreds and hundreds of WhatsApp groups where guys are showing themselves having sex with women, sharing that between hundreds and hundreds of guys? Who's responsible for that? Not the YouTubers, right? Who's responsible for showing all kind of sex acts and women on your phones when you go home, when you're in the barbershop, emailing it to friends, texting it to friends? YouTubers are not responsible for that. So all I'm basically trying to say is, it's a gift and a curse, and it's nobody's fault because it is what it is. YouTubers are doing, for the most part, what they should do. They are sharing their experience traveling around the world. Now, if you guys are getting stuck in 2 or 3, 4 places, and you're not traveling around the world as well, then it is what it is. But don't say the YouTubers messed it up. Because let's be honest, a lot of y'all wouldn't be there in the first place if it wasn't for YouTubers. And y'all not as going as many places as the YouTubers. Y'all just going back to the same locations. And the game is changing in those locations. So it's just time to change your game. And not point the finger and blame. International Self, food for thought. YouTubers versus the passport bros. Don't be mad. My number one thing I used to say is, step your game up, get your name up. Peace.